Hey folks, Breakaway Homesteader here. Today we're going to have a little chat about the dollar store. So I went to the dollar store today, picked up a few things, and just looked around, and I found this nifty little handy, and it was in the mechanical section, little box. And I thought, what can I do with this box? And I said, I know, I'm going to make a personal first aid kit out of this. And so everything here on this table is from the dollar store. And so you can make your own personal first aid kit for almost pennies on the dollar compared to the generic or the name brand personal first aid kits. And you want it to be small, you want it to be compact, but you want it to be reliable as well. So this has 10 compartments plus this long compartment here. I was thinking about what I can do with that, and so I came up with this. And so what you're going to need is your little container, 10 items to put inside your little container, and maybe some other stuff depending on what you want to put inside there. So I took, in my mind, the 10 most important things of what needs to go in this personal first aid kit. So when you make your personal first aid kit, you're going to want to have some antibiotic ointment, but to carry this around in a small personal first aid kit is kind of it's not productive. So what we're going to do is we're going to make a couple of one-time use antibiotic ointment little capsules that we can put in our small first aid kit. And so what you can need for that, of course, is your triple or your regular antibiotic ointment. I got this from the dollar store, a pair of scissors, and a vacuum sealer. And so when you open this, you want this type here. This came from the dollar store. You see it's got a nozzle on it, and so when you use a straw, it's going to be a two-time use because you're going to put one dose on one end and one dose on the other. So you're going to push it in to where it goes past the tip, because you're going to want to have the tip clear so you can seal it. You're going to push enough ointment in to where you have enough for one little dose there. Do the same on the other side, just enough for one. And then you're going to cap your ointment because you want to keep it clean. Now we're going to seal the ends. Wait for that green light to turn off. That's sealed. We'll seal the other end. And that one's sealed. So from here we're going to make a cut a little further from where the ointment's at. So the ointment's right here on there, so I'm going to make a cut about right there. Same thing here. Ointment's about right there, so I'm going to make a cut about right there. I'll bring these back. There's this one dose right here, and I'm going to seal that end as well. Seal the end on the other one. Now you might get some ointment on your sealer. Just when you get the opportunity and you're done, just wipe that off, you'll be fine. Alright, so what we have made are two individual doses for antibiotic ointment, and so this will be good for your personal first aid kit. So next for our little personal first aid kit is individual pill bags. They'll be sealed for individual use. And of course we have drugs we got from the dollar store. This is aspirin. That's one thing you can use for somebody who's having a heart attack or something like that. You don't necessarily want to use aspirin for inflammation or anything like that. But what we're going to do is make individual packets for all of our stuff that we're going to be putting in. You got your multivitamins, you got your antacids, you got your allergy medication, and so we want 2 doses for each for our little mini kit. And what we're going to do is use sandwich bags and our sealer. And so with our sealer, push it in about an inch and seal it. So the bottom side and top side are both open. And that's what it looks like. So this is sealed. This is a sealed section right here. And we're going to continue to do that until we get to the other end of the bag. Alright, this is just a normal sandwich bag. I'm going to take our scissors and cut along the outside of that line. Take our pills, so since we want 2 doses, that's 4 aspirin. We're going to put 2 in the bag. That's 1, that's 2. I'm going to go all the way down to the bottom. Then we're going to place it on the sealer and seal it. And that's what it looks like. That's an individual sealed dose for your reasons of purpose. So that's how you individually wrap drugs for your little personal first aid kit. So once you decide what you want to put inside your first aid kit, you're going to want to write the items down. I know my chicken scratch isn't the greatest in the world, but at least I can read it. And so you're going to take that right there, and then you're going to number all the items on there. You can see I put the numbers on there, 1, 2, 3 through 10, and then we got this long space here to put something in. And once you do that, what you're going to do is you're actually going to mark it down on the inside of. You can do it on top, or you can do it on the inside. My thing is doing it on the inside because that way it's not going to get rubbed off in any way. So I'm just marking numbers according to my list. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then I'm going to get my stuff together. Now, some of the stuff I have come from regular pill bottles, and what I did was I sealed using my food sealer the certain items. To make sure that you're not getting the wrong items, what you're going to do at this point is mark those sealed items with that same number that goes according to your list. So like this is a multivitamin. That's something important to me that I think you need to have. If you get stuck in a rush home situation, you're going to get dehydrated, or not dehydrated, but your minerals and all your vitamin uptake is going to need to be brought up to maintain your agility. So I'm just going to mark this here. I'm going to do the same thing for all the other ones. That's number 1. So now that my items are all marked, I'm going to go ahead and put this together, and this is according to me what the top 10 things I would have inside my little personal first aid kit. Obviously, that's exactly what it is. It's my own personal first aid kit. I'm making 3 of these, one for me, one for my son, one for my wife's to-go bag or bug out bag, and I think it's the perfect size. And so we're going to go ahead and start with number 1, and that's a multivitamin. Again, like I said before, if you're going to be in a situation where you have to get out and do something, or get from point A to point B, it's best that you have the minerals that you need in your body to take care of that. Especially if you're going at a fast pace and burning a lot of calories, it's going to help replenish some of the things your body needs to continue on. Number 2 would be aspirin. So aspirin is not something necessarily that you would take for any regular situation, but let's say I'm pushing 36. If I were to have a heart attack, aspirin is something I'm going to want to take immediately because it brings up my chances of surviving that heart attack. So that's one thing. Number 3, antacids. Again, that's something you might want to have on hand. Let's say you find a food source and it's actually peppers or something like that, and you have heartburn or relief from heartburn itself, because that's one thing that can slow you down. So I'm going to put those in there. So number 4 is an expectorant and decongestant combined. I chose the combination medicine because if I'm hacking up stuff, it's probably because I have some sort of nasal passage issue or there's stuff in my lungs. The expectorant does that, but it also gives it a double power with decongestant. So that's number 4. So my number 5 item is allergy relief. These are antihistamines. It's the same thing as Claritin. You can get them at the dollar store. This is a 124-hour pill, so that's perfect. You only want 2 doses of each. So number 6 are cough drops. And I'm only putting 2 inside here because 2 doses of each. It's technically a dose. It's going to get you by for when you need it the most. Some people will worry about them aging or deteriorating. Even if they're mushy, they're still going to work the same. So number 7 is a very important one. This is probably the most important one I could say for a bug out situation. These are anti-diarrheals, and when you're in a situation where you drink some bad water or do something to where it's going to cause you to get diarrhea, it's going to dehydrate you very quickly. So if you get ahead of that, you can stop that diarrhea and continue on without having the burden of that on you. So number 8 is Band-Aids. I got some Band-Aids here. I got 4 total. They're folded in on each other, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold them on themselves, put a little piece of tape on them, and place that inside there just like that. Number 9, and this is a weird one, but it's, I think, an important one. This is a single-use super glue. You get out in a situation where you have a large cut, you're not going to have enough stuff in your little to-go bag because you don't want to use up the extra weight. Super glue was actually made by the military to sew up wounds in an emergency situation. So people would get shot or people would get cut, and they would take the wound, press it together, and put super glue on it, and that would shut up the wound site. This is a one-time use thing. You've got to keep these separate. You got the nozzle. Once you put the nozzle on the super glue, it busts into the actual packet, and you can use it for that one-time use. Plus, in any other situation where you might need super glue for some odd reason, and there's 1,000 uses, it's there. So that's one thing that I think is very important for your personal first aid kit. So the last thing I have in here is ibuprofen. Anytime you have any issues, headache, sore back, anything like that, ibuprofen does wonders. It's also an anti-inflammatory, so I think that's important to have inside your personal kit. So the last 2 items I have here, of course, are Q-tips. Q-tips are important when you want to get stuff out of small things, wounds, anything like that. Plus, when you're dressing a wound, you don't want to use your dirty fingers, especially if you've been out in the woods or anything like that. So using Q-tips is important. So I'm also going to put in here the 2 little vials or 2 little single doses of triple antibiotic ointment. I think it's important that if you cut yourself or anything like that, you need some sort of anti-bacterial ointment to put on top of it, and that's what the Q-tips are for as well. I'm going to put that in there with that. And the last thing I have here looks like a bullet. It's not, trust me. is a tampon. They sell these at the dollar store as well, and it's just one tampon, but you never know the situation where it might be needed, and not for its intended purposes either. But it would be nice if you're stuck out in the woods and one of your family members or somebody you know has an issue, and you go, oh, I got a tampon, and they can at least get from point A to point B and not have to worry about that or be embarrassed by it. But there's additional uses for a tampon. Give you an example here. This is the 38 Special Bullet. Notice it's almost similar in the same size. If someone were to be shot by something like that, guess the size of the bullet hole. You guessed it, the size of the tampon. 45, 9mm, kind of going to be the same. And this would be a great blood stop or a great blocker to put into that hole wherever it's at to maintain bleeding and to keep the person from bleeding out. So that's going to go in there as well. I'm going to shut the top on this, and I have my own personal little kit. Now there's one more thing we need to do. We've got our numbers on the back, or actually on the inside. So on the front, what I'm going to do is I'm going to name these numbers out again on the front so I can tell exactly what's inside there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Perfect. And that's pretty much it. Now I know exactly what's on here. If I'm in a situation where they need to get to my first aid kit and they need to know what's inside here, I can say, hey, first aid kit. And they can look and see exactly what I need and know exactly what compartment they need to get it from. And that's pretty much it for this personal first aid kit. I hope you enjoyed it. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up and leave a comment down below, and continue to follow me by pressing subscribe and hit that bell, and every time a new video comes out you'll get notified on that. Thanks for stopping by, and be safe.